There is a moment, perhaps just before dawn, or in the deep quiet of a sleepless night, when the world feels still. It's a stillness that isn't empty, but full, a silence that hums with a hidden frequency, a peace that settles over everything like a fine layer of dust. In this quiet, you become aware of your own existence in a new way. When the breath comes in, a cool, clean gift from the air around you, and goes out, a warm, quiet release. Each cycle is a silent conversation between you and the world, and in that simple, repeated rhythm, you realize you are alive, but also, somehow, not entirely yours. This body, this breath, it feels like a vessel you are temporarily inhabiting, a current passing through you. A memory drifts into your mind, unbidden. It arrives not as a thought you constructed, but as a fragrance on the wind. A laugh that still echoes in your ears, a hand held with a specific warmth you can almost feel again. A sunset watched alone, painting the sky in colors that felt like they were just for you. And you wonder, what belongs to you, and what has always been borrowed? Was that joy yours to keep? Or were you just a witness to it? Was that love a possession, or a force that simply moved through you for a time? We live in a world that asks us to hold tightly, to clench our fists around our experiences and declare them ours. From the moment we learn to speak, we are taught the language of ownership. We are encouraged to claim our bodies, our minds, our time. My life, we say, drawing a sharp boundary around a story we've constructed from a million borrowed moments. My success, we announce, as if we built the ladder alone, without the wood from 1,000 forests or the help of 100 hands. My pain, we whisper, holding our suffering so close it becomes our identity, a fortress we build to protect a self that feels under siege. But try to hold the wind in your hands. Squeeze as tight as you can. You feel its pressure, its movement, its cool caress, but you cannot possess it. The moment you close your fist, it is gone. And in that feeling of air slipping through your fingers, you will feel the first crack in the illusion of control. We are taught to build our lives on the bedrock of ownership, yet we chase what we cannot own. We chase youth, a fleeting season of the body. We chase beauty, a standard that shifts like sand. We chase permanence in a universe defined by change. We invest ourselves so deeply in things that will one day vanish. Houses that will shelter other families, titles that will be passed to someone else, moments that fade into photographs, and even the people we love, who are on their own journey through time. And slowly, quietly, through a series of small heartbreaks and quiet revelations, life begins to teach us that ownership is a fragile thought, a story we tell ourselves to feel safe in a world that is fundamentally, beautifully, terrifyingly unsafe. Our bodies age, the map of our lives etched onto our skin. Our faces change, reflecting the joys and sorrows we have witnessed. Our energy shifts like the tide, some days full and powerful, other days withdrawn and quiet. We get sick, we lose, we say goodbye. These are not failures of life. They are the curriculum. They are the moments the universe uses to gently pry our fingers open. And in these losses, in the aching space where something or someone used to be, we glimpse a strange freedom, the profound, weightless space that opens when attachment falls away. It is the freedom of the empty hand. Think of the hours that slip through your fingers unnoticed, like fine sand. You cannot hoard them. You can only live them. Think of the days that pass without your command, the sun rising and setting on its own infallible schedule. Think of the love that you cannot hold, no matter how tightly you try. You can only offer it, receive it, and allow it to flow. It is in these spaces, the empty spaces between clinging and letting go, between mine and thine, that the soul, which has been waiting patiently beneath the noise of your striving, quietly whispers, "I have always been free." To awaken spiritually in this material world is not to fight it, to build a fortress of denial against its messiness and its beauty. And it is not to reject it entirely, to pretend that our physical lives, our relationships, and our work do not matter. They are the very ground upon which we learn to walk. It is to notice it, to notice the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of water, the texture of a loved one's hand. It is to feel it, to feel the sting of loss, the swell of joy, the ache of longing, without needing to name them as good or bad, but simply as energy moving through you. And it is to see, with gentle clarity, where you are not needed to control. To see the places where your desperate grip is the only thing causing friction, where life carries itself perfectly without your grasp, like a river that knows its own way to the sea. So ask yourself, what remains when the possessions fade, when the house is empty and the car is gone? What remains when the titles mean nothing, when the resume is just a piece of paper? What remains when the familiar faces leave, through distance or disagreement or death? And what remains when the body you call your own grows fragile and tired, when its abilities diminish and its strength wanes? There is a lightness here, a quiet hum beneath the loss, a presence that was there before all of it, and remains after. It is the realization that life does not belong to you, and yet you belong to life. You are a wave, and life is the ocean. You were never meant to own it, to contain the ocean in a jar. You were meant to witness it, to be the awareness through which the universe experiences itself. You were meant to experience it fully, with every cell of your being, without reservation. You were meant to breathe it in, to take in the world in all its complexity and contradiction. And you were meant to release it without fear, to let it all go with the same trust with which you exhale. You were never meant to be anchored to permanence. That was the great misunderstanding. You were meant to drift, to be a vessel for experience, not a container for it. You were meant to open your hands, to see what comes and what goes when you stop grasping. You were meant to feel the currents of love and sorrow and joy, and let them move through you, knowing that you are the riverbed, not the water. Even the heart, so eager to possess, so quick to claim another as mine, eventually learns that its greatest freedom is found not in holding, but in letting be, in loving without needing to own. And in this gentle surrender, this radical acceptance of the flow of things, you discover the soul's quiet truth, that nothing you think you own can leave you empty because nothing ever truly belonged to you in the first place. You were always whole. Everything comes and goes. Thoughts, feelings, faces, things. They are clouds passing in the vast sky of your being. Yet the awareness that watches it all remains, unchanged, unscarred, undiminished. This awareness has no walls, no chains, no limits. It does not cling to pleasure or run from pain, it simply is. And you are that. So breathe, and know that you are breathing with the lungs of the universe. Feel, and know that what you feel is life itself, expressing one of its infinite facets through you. Notice, and know that the simple act of noticing is the beginning of all wisdom. There is no need to hold the world tight. It is already holding you. There is only the present moment, soft, unfolding and infinite in its simplicity. In this moment, you are not your possessions. They are just tools you are using. You are not your story. It is just a path you have walked. You are not even your body. It is the precious, temporary home for your awareness. You are something quieter, something deeper, something eternal. And in this realization, there is freedom. A freedom that is soft, patient, and luminous. It doesn't arrive with a thunderclap, but with a quiet dawn. A freedom that does not need to shout its name, for it is the silence beneath all noise. A freedom that simply exists, and lets you exist with it. Let the world drift around you. Let the noise and the hurry be a distant weather pattern. Let life pass through your fingers like water and feel the gift of its touch without the burden of trying to hold it. And notice the stillness that remains. That was always there. You are awake, you are here, and in this, you are unowned, and entirely, magnificently alive.